Hi guys, KaiWhaiEggs here, and welcome to a bit of an unusual video. Before I get into the main meat and potatoes of this vid, I just want to address why this is my first upload in a long while. Long story short, I essentially stopped wanting to work on YouTube, and I've pretty much fully migrated over to doing Twitch live streams and all that. I found that much more enjoyable. I was trying to upload VODs, kind of got all messy, blah blah blah. Finished the Binding of Isaac playthrough over on the Twitch, and I've now been working on a Hat in Time playthrough, because, you know, I was done with Isaac. However, when I finish up a Hat in Time, the project I want to start next would be a Pokemon Black 2 Challenge Mode Betregglocke playthrough, which is kind of why you're probably here. But in order to do that, as you would probably know, I need eggs from all of you. And so I'm making this video quite a while before I finish a Hat in Time to make sure that all of you have times to submit eggs before I even start the game. I'll probably be accepting eggs for a pretty long time. Like, I don't have the game done. Like, as long as I don't have the game done and the boxes aren't full, I'll be accepting eggs still. So you still have a lot of time regardless. Like, you have tons of time, so you don't really have to stress about it. However, if you do want an egg in before I start the game, then try to do it like a little quickly. Don't like wait for any reason, I guess. I still have a lot to do in Hat in Time though. So the main meat of this video will be, teaching you how to utilize PokeGen, or Pokemon Generator 3.1.10, in order to create eggs that you can send to me at KaiWhaiEggs@gmail.com. I think that's right. If it's not right, that's fine, because it's in the description and in a document that I've linked. And the document links all the rules about the eggs, and maybe some tips too about how the eggs work. A little bit of a hodgepodge of a document, but hopefully if you look at that, it'll be fine. Your first question though might be, what the heck is a Betregglocke? And basically, a Betregglocke is my own spin on a normal Egglocke. It's a pun on betray and egg, Betreg, or Betregglocke. The idea is similar to being boozled. You'll basically submit 2 eggs rather than 1 egg, but 1 egg is your good egg and 1 egg is your bad egg. To simplify things, your good egg is an egg that contains a Pokemon that you'd like to see me use and enjoy, probably having good IVs, good moves, nature, etc., while a bad egg is an egg that contains a Pokemon that you'd like to see me use and suffer, giving it bad IVs, bad moves, other ways that you think can make it an awful experience. In general, a bad Pokemon, like, I don't know, Malcombi. I'll be playing with Species Clause, though, so if I hatch a Pokemon that I already have hatched in the playthrough, then I'll swap out the dupe for a new egg instead. So you need to be creative. So maybe don't do the male Combi, unless, of course, you think that because I said don't do it, that no one else will do it, and so you do it. Now we're gonna have a whole bunch of male Combis. Guys, you've ruined it for yourselves. But now, I'll be doing the tutorial on how to make the eggs here. Hopefully you can see pretty well here. It's really, Pokemon Generator is not hard to use. It's actually very straightforward. But one of the main things you should probably start with is going to options, select a target game, and setting it to black 2, white 2. That would probably be the best. I'm not 100% certain what it all changes. However, it's probably for your best interest. So everything here is the same. The first thing is pretty simple. It's the species. In the document linked in the description, there is a list of literally everything that is legal. So hopefully you won't have to worry about what is legal. I'm pretty sure I put everything that I'm legalizing. I don't think if I've banned anything that normally comes from an egg, so it's pretty straightforward. However, I've already selected what I'm going to do, and the first thing I'm going to do is Zigzagoon. You don't have to type it out, you can use this drop-down menu. However, it's what I've chosen, because I'm going to be first working on the bad egg. I'm going to show both making a good egg and a bad egg, because I think it is important, so you guys can see kind of the processes behind doing a few things, and both of these Pokemon that I've chosen have different quirks that I want to talk about. So, the nickname here, you have to set a nickname. It's pretty important. If you don't, things will look bad, but if you do set a nickname, which you should, you will, hopefully, please, please, please check this box. If you do not check that box, I will not get a nickname, and that is sad. Always, no matter what, if it's bad or good, set experience to 0 and level to 1. I will be using rare candies to level things up to the level that they should be when I trade out the eggs, like in a normal Egglocke. So don't mess with that. Please just set it to level 1, as an egg should be. Nature you can set to whatever you want. If you highlight this, it's kind of hard to see because I have it so zoomed in, but you'll have a list of what every single nature does. Basically, it'll increase one stat by 10% and decrease one stat by 10%. Well, bashful, docile, hardy, quirky, serious don't do anything. If you're really, really not sure, sending it to one of those, bashful, docile, hardy, quirky, or serious, is something that you might want to do if you're really not sure. However, if you do know what all the natures do, and like I said, there's a whole list that it shows, then you should be fine just selecting one that you think is bad or good. So Modest is actually pretty bad for Zigzagoon because it raises special attack and decreases physical attack. I'm fairly certain that in theory, he's a mixed attacker, so it doesn't really matter, I guess. In fact, if I really wanted to be that guy, I guess I could just, like, I don't know, lower speed, increase special attack. So that's like, what? I don't even know what that is. According to this thing, it says it's quiet. So I guess I'll do quiet or something. I don't know. It's probably not as evil as I could get. Whatever. Held item, you can put on pretty much whatever you want into this held item slot. For a bad Pokemon, it's probably best to just leave it at none, because, like, if you give it something useless like a lagging tail, I don't really have to keep it on there. So it's kind of pointless. Happiness must be at 0. If you read this thing, it will mention about egg steps. If you leave happiness at 0, the egg will hatch as soon as I take a step. If it doesn't hatch as soon as I take a step, I'm going to be upset. And I'm not going to hatch your egg, because that's stupid. So leave happiness at 0. Now for ability, it's pretty simple. Just go to Cerebi.net. It'll be like Cerebi.net, PokeGen, Black White. I have a link in the doc. I might even link it in the description, because why not? Here is Cerebi. Make sure that if you're on anything Cerebi, that you are highlighted on the Gen 5 decks, because that's what I'm using to fact check that anything is legal. If you look, Zigzagoon has 2 abilities, being Pickup, Gluttony, and it also has a hidden ability, Quick Feet. I'll go over the Quick Feet. I'll go over hidden abilities when I go over the good Pokemon. But for the bad, I think we're going to leave it with Gluttony. I actually can't remember. What do you get as a line-in? You still keep Pickup. Pickup can be considered good. I like Pickup at least, so maybe if you were going to put Pickup, I consider it a good ability. So, I don't know. Gluttony is what we're going to put for bad. As you go here, let me zoom in on this. Boop. I'll leave that Cerebi stuff in the background. It's not too bad. And you just type in Gluttony. If your Pokemon has an ability that it cannot get by any means, that's illegal. And yet again, if it's illegal, it goes back in the box, replaced with a new egg. Gluttony, if you look though, is like the second thing to pick up, which I'm pretty sure Cerebi does its best to stay accurate to this. So 2 should be the proper number. You set it to 1 or 2. If it's the one on top, it's 1. If it's the one on bottom, it's 2. Hidden ability, like I said, I will get into on the good Pokemon. The first thing, though, you do need to make sure it's egg. It is always egg. Please set it to egg. Do not forget it. In fact, whenever you are making a Pokemon for this, set it to egg. It is so important. It is an egg. PID, I will get into. That comes last, in my opinion. Met, the only thing you really need to change is the ball. What ball did you find it in? It's pretty easy to say, alright, fine, Dream Ball. This is completely aesthetic and has nothing to do with gameplay, so just put the Pokemon in whatever ball you want. Maybe you think it's ugly, so that's nice. IVs and EVs here are an important factor to how good the Pokemon is. However, for a bad Pokemon, it's probably best to leave all of this at 0, because this will be a bad Pokemon. It's just straight up bad. For good, I'll go over this when I do the good Pokemon, but for good, you'll probably want to set every single one of these IVs to 31. In general, you might want to leave EVs alone unless you really know what EVs are, and then you can tweak around with them if you actually want to. But if you don't know what EVs are, I would just suggest sticking them at 0 and leaving it at that. For attacks, These can come from anywhere in the pool that is, let me get rid of this face. Boop. It can come from the black, white, black 2, white 2 level up category for a Pokemon, a TM and HM category for a Pokemon, and an egg moves category. It cannot come from a move tutor attacks category or a Gen 3 and 4 only moves category. Those are not legal moves for the egg. However, these egg moves, TM and HM attacks, and level up attacks are all legal. But for a bad Pokemon, you might want to not leave, you know, a whole bunch of stuff in terms of moves. Maybe you want to only have bad moves. So what you might do is something as simple as giving it Cut. Because Cut is legal, is in the TM section. But the best part about Cut is that not only is it a pretty bad move, but it's also physical, which goes against the special attack raise that we're given. Maybe Modest would work better. But it's also an HM. You can't erase HM moves unless you have the move deleter. So that's a thing. That's fun. And also a pain to deal with. You could leave it just that. But you also, yeah, it's a pretty good thing. Just leave it at Cut. You could also add Surf, because that's one. An egg move that it gets access to is a Helping Hand. So maybe you want to just set Helping Hand as one of the moves. In general, you can just give a terrible move set. I do ask that you at least put one move on every single one of your Pokemon. An empty move set is considered illegal, and struggling is no fun. Although once I start leveling up with our candies, it'll probably start learning things anyways. But yeah, just please maybe just give them a move, at least a move. It doesn't have to be all 4, like I'm doing here. This is a pretty bad set. Maybe it's actually not that bad, but yeah. PP ups, you can actually adjust them if you want to. 3 obviously makes the PP just really high. This here, OG Miscellaneous. There's a few important steps here, 2 of which I think affect the good Pokemon the most, while the bad Pokemon really only needs one thing here, and that's the ribbons. So I'm actually going to kind of do the little zoom out thing for this, as it's helpful here. So with the ribbons, you'll see a whole entire list of these ribbons. You'll want to stop when you get to this section with the 7 heart ribbons, with the Alert, Shock, Downcast, Careless, Relax, Snooze, Smile. If you are submitting, let's say this is your bad egg, give it the Downcast ribbon. This will tell me that it is your bad Pokemon. If it is your good Pokemon, you're going to give it the Smile ribbon. I am making the bad one, so this is going to be Downcast ribbon. Just leave it at that. You click on it, make sure that it has that check mark right next to it, which you can see right there. And then you just close the menu. It's fine. Don't need anything with marks. Extra bytes you don't need to do anything with. But 660x42 has everything to do with hidden ability. If you want to give something a hidden ability, you set this 0 here to a 1. That will make it have a hidden ability. Now, this isn't super important information, however I will zoom in on it. You do want to set the ID to 34219 and the secret ID, the box to the right, to 22033. You don't have to set OT, the gender doesn't even matter. And as far as I'm aware, the ID and secret ID are only important if you're trying to make your Pokemon shiny. Which brings us to the last thing, the PID. If you go back to the main tab, there's this PID thing, and you want to hit the F button right there. Open up the PID finder. This is probably the most complicated part about the whole thing. As you see to the left here, these are the IVs that we have specified. And the ability we want actually is going to be 2. Male, we actually don't care, so we can set that to either. Nature, we've set to quiet. Species is Zigzagoon. And this box here will determine what you want. So if it's shaded, as you see here, it says include shiny and non-shiny PIDs. Checked will only show you shiny PIDs, and unchecked will show you non-shiny ones. So if you leave that empty, it will only show you non-shiny PIDs. As you can see here, it has generated us a PID that has a female, quiet nature, ability 2. It's not shiny, however, it has set the IVs with special defense speed 31 and the speed to be 30. It's pretty high, and that's not super great. So you can do some adjustments here. These minus signs tell you what direction you're fine with the stat going. Minus is probably bad if you have them all at 0, because it will actually loop back around and set them to high. You do not want them to be at that high, so if you're trying to go for zeros, maybe set them all to plus. And then the priority here is a little bit complicated, but basically 1 means that it is like something you want to keep that way. So attack and special attack, maybe you want to keep it 1. Maybe you're not as concerned if the HP IV changes. So you set that to 6. So maybe it's saying, hey, you can change the HP IV. I'm not super concerned about that. Hit search again, see what it comes up with. As you see, we actually now we're able to find a ID here with the female gender, quiet nature, ability 2, not shiny, and has all the IVs to 0 except for HP, which is 1, which is that is pretty good for the standards of getting IVs that close to 0. So I just hit OK. Now it'll automatically fill in your PID, and you are good to go. As long as you followed all the steps, you're pretty fine. You can also tweak around Pokerus. I'll get to that on the good egg. So all you want to do is just hit File, and you do Save Pokemon from tabs. You'll just click that, bring up this little prompt here, and all that jazz. I'm gonna just move where I have it. I'll just put it over here. Yeah, there we go. Because I'm gonna put it in a not that position is not a great place for me to have it, because I'm gonna totally lose everything there. So I'll put this in this folder here, and it'll simply just ask you, like, you know, file name, save as type. I recommend making the file name whatever you name the Pokemon. I actually don't remember when I named it. Oh yeah, I named it Twigs. I just completely mindlessly did that. Yeah, naming the useless thing Twigs. How funny. Anyways, so you just name the file whatever your Pokemon is, and then do .pkm. Obviously, be a little save button there. Just click that, and to wherever you wanted the file location, you now have that PKM file. I'm going to be clicking this, hit set. You don't have to do that. This is just for the save file so we can show off the eggs. Now I'm going to clear all this out here, so we can begin work on the next Pokemon, which will be the good egg. So for the good egg, I will be doing a Porygon, because he has some interesting things about him. We'll be naming him Jason. As you can see here, he has the nickname box checked, experience is still 0, level is 1. Nature, you are a special attacker, so modest was actually good because it increases special attack while lowering physical attacks, meaning you don't need. Held out and Lagging Tail, something I want to get into real quick. All trait evolutions have been removed from the game. I've made it so you can all get them. I can get them all without needing another person. However, if a Pokemon does need an item to evolve normally, that'll still be the case here. So I'm going to have it so the Porygon egg is going to be holding an upgrade. So let's say you did this yourself and you gave me a Porygon, or heck, a different Pokemon that evolves an item, have the egg hold it. Then I can see it and be like, oh hey, I now have the item to evolve them. I don't have to wait to get it. That's something super thoughtful you can do. And I recommend staying away from key items though, as not all key items are like shared across all the games. Like I've seen GB sounds and other stuff. Stay away from key items. Just do general stuff you know is in the game. If you don't know what's in the game, then maybe you'll do some research or just stick with something easy. Like, I don't know, you can not do a wide lens. I still want to upgrade. But yeah, it's not that hard. Happiness should still be 0. The ability, however, that's something we're going to get into here. We're going to go to that and pop that off. There we go. As you see to the left, Porygon gets Trace, Download, and Analytic. We want Analytic. It's pretty good. Not like, you know, the best, but for the sake of this tutorial, we'll be giving it Analytic. Analytic. There you go. Now, the ability number here does not really matter. As far as I'm aware, it doesn't. You can set that to 1 or 2. Your PID will determine that later. But you need to make sure when you're at OT/miscellaneous, you set the extra byte 66x42. I'll zoom in just for you. 660x42. That byte. Set that to 1. That should make it a hidden ability. I'm pretty sure I've done it before. Now, Matt, yet again, you just set whatever ball you want. I actually think that this will look good in a Moon Ball, sure. Stats. This is where things can get pretty complicated. If you don't know what you're doing here, and it's the good Pokemon, I recommend just setting every single IV to 31. Yet again, if you don't know what EVs are, just don't mess with them at all. For this, I'll be setting attack to 0 though, just because I know what I'm doing. Attacks, this is when you can get some really good movesets. Because, as you see here, there are some nice things that Porygon can learn through like TMs and stuff. When I tried this before, because I did try to do this tutorial before, kind of screwed up a little bit. I gave him something like Shadow Ball that I'm misspelling, which I'm still giving 3 PP ups apparently, so that's pretty cool. Just continue to do that. Let's give them all 3 PP ups. Let's give this one 1 PP up actually, and then 2. Ha! Look at that, 3 1. I actually wasn't even intentional. I don't know how I accidentally do that. And then you do something simple like, oh man, if you want to be quirky and give him the move like Sunny Day with Solar Beam. Maybe this isn't the best combo in the game, but hey, it's something that you want me to try, so gosh dang it, I'll try it, I guess. I don't know anything else that works with Sunny Day and this condition, but sure, let's give you the move Psyshock. Look at that. And just make sure that any moves you choose come from the TM and HM attacks, level up attacks, and then PokeGen doesn't have the category, but I mean Zigzagoon's position, egg moves. Pretty easy to follow along with, hopefully. And yet again, when we're at OT Miscellaneous, if you're doing shinies, make sure this stuff is accurate. Not, the OT and gender doesn't matter, but the ID left box and the ID right box, the 34219222033, which I still love that secret ID. I didn't even set that. That was just kind of by the game. And then you make sure that you go to your ribbon here. Do not be downcast. Your smile. Tell me that is good. And then obviously the last step will be going and adjusting the PID. So these things are going to be a little different. We can set this to plus. However, we want these to be minus. Special attack, I really don't want to change. We're going to set that to equal, so hopefully it does not change at all. And you're going to have a bit more priority, while attack and speed have a, bit adjusted. Gender is either, ability is either because, in theory, we were giving it the hidden ability, and we want to set this shiny box to be checked, so it'll only find a shiny PID. Might take a little while longer, but it doesn't take too long. If you look, the IVs will get quite a bit more screwed up. As you see, the speed is weird, special defense is weird, but our special attack is the perfect 31 that we want. 3 perfect IVs isn't bad, but it's just kind of the effects you'll get when you're trying to get a shiny, because just shinies are a little difficult to get. I'm sure that if I went back and set these to 31, 31, 0, and then made it so either could appear. If you look, I literally just have with 2 attack rather than 0 attack, and I found it easy peasy. But it just definitely runs into problems when you say, hey, find only a shiny one, because those are obviously a bit more rare. But if you want a shiny, I guess the price you have to pay is that your IVs won't be exactly how you want it to be. So, you set it to that, and now you do have your shiny egg with your good stats and stuff. Pokerust is something you want to set, so you don't have to set it, obviously, and it might be a little complicated. It's not too bad though. If you want to give the Pokemon Pokerust, just set this left number to anything but 0, so like 1's fine. And I think the right number is how long it lasts. So if you want to last max length, I think 115 is like the best situation it can be for Pokerust. I don't quite know. I haven't experimented with it too much, but yeah, this should be the good Pokemon pretty much. And then all you have to do is just hit file, and you just, whoa, I made a mistake. There we go. You just hit file, save Pokemon from tabs, and then bam, you can just make that. And it's just json.pkm. And that's pretty much it. All you do from this point on is that you take your 2 PKM files that you made, put them in a zip folder, and then you email it to me at KaiWhaiEggs@gmail.com, which that will be in the description and the document, and I'll probably set it enough that hopefully you understand it. I'm going to make a quick cut, though, so you guys can see these guys in action, to say that I'm not a liar and stuff. So see it real quick. Hey, yeah, I know this layout is a little wonk, but that's fine. But from what you'll notice is that I should have both of these eggs hatching. Now what's funny is this is before the start of the game, because I haven't actually gotten that far, so I'm going to have to progress a little bit more after a cut to show you the summaries of them. But hey, you can see the hatching sequences, and as this should be, yes, this is the Zigzagoon, Like I said, I'm going to have to fix this layout a little bit. There's quite a few things wrong with it. I will have to manually set the nicknames because it's a little weird. And I know I couldn't see the nicknames before, but I know what they will be. And when I see the name of the egg, I'll just have to memorize it, and I'll be able to get it down pretty easily. So that's hopefully not too much of a concern. And as you can see, this next egg that's going to hatch is going to be the Porygon egg, which should be shiny. Yes, it is. That's good. As you see, it is beautiful blue and pink, but not the same blue and pink, a different blue and pink. A reversed blue and pink, if you will. And it is beautiful. So I will quickly cut ahead to me actually looking at their summary so you can see them. Alright, as you can see here, we now have Twigs and Jason. We also have Tepig, whatever. But, so this is our bad Pokemon. I don't know why he starts off facing away from me, but you can see he has this quiet nature. He's caught in a Dream Ball, or I guess it's she. Has a lagging tail for the item, as specified. Has Cut, Helping Hand, Charm, and Tickle. Wonderful moveset, along with the Gluttony ability. And just wonderful stats, definitely. And as you see here, Memorial Ribbon 1, the downcast ribbon saying, "Aw, you picked a bad egg." But we have here Jason, the good Pokemon, as you can see, with modest nature, having Pokerus and being shiny with an upgrade, and having Analytic, hidden ability, and cool moves such as Shadow Ball, Sunny Day, Solar Beam, and Psyshock. And then on top of that, it has the smile ribbon saying, "Yee, this is indeed the good egg." Now, I think if I go here and I use a rare candy, because Jason is holding an upgrade, it actually should. Yeah, so this, as you can see, if a Pokemon evolves by trading with a held item, they will now evolve if they level up while holding that item, which is pretty useful, I'd say, because now you can just give an item. Obviously, I don't have the Dubious Disc, so that's unfortunate. I'd have to get a Dubious Disc some other way, but hey, look at that. We have a... I didn't mean to do that, but that's fine. We now have a Porygon 2. That hopefully was a pretty easy to follow tutorial. You know how to do it now? There is a document down in the description to hopefully help if you are lost on anything. And just remember, you get 2 eggs, put them in a zip file, email them off. It's hopefully not too hard. I cannot wait to see how many submissions we get, and if you want to catch the playthrough, I will be live on Twitch whenever I'm done with the hat time. I will see you all later.